Hey, mamas, welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. As always, I am so glad you're here. My name is Marissa Lonick. I am your host. I am also the founder of Mama Work It, where we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So we are talking today about the 5 daily must-dos as a working mom. So you guys, if you're new in town, I'll just give you kind of a brief history of kind of my journey in working motherhood. So I've been a working mom since 2013. I've got 4 kids. My oldest are twins. They are now 11. My middle guy is 7. My youngest is 5. So I have been a working mom for quite some time. Been through lots of different seasons so far, not the teenager season quite yet, but we're in the tween stage with the oldest. And I feel like I've done it all to a certain extent. I've been like the corporate working mom, commuting on the day-to-day basis, taking public transportation, buses, trains, cars, all the things, right? I used to take a bus, or I used to walk to the bus stop, then take the bus to the train, then the train to the city, then walk to work. I've done, driving to public transportation, parking there, going in. I've sat in traffic. Like I've done all the various types of commutes. So I get that. I've also done like the hybrid working mom thing where some days you're at work, some days you're at home. I've done the COVID working mom thing. That was an interesting season. If you were a mom during the pandemic, ooh, that was kind of crazy when you were not only being a working mom from home, but also doing every other job that you have as a mom simultaneously. So that was nuts. I am currently a work from home working mom, and I'm currently in an entrepreneurial season. So working for myself where I get to choose my schedule, choose my hours, which has been wonderful and flexible in a lot of ways. And yet I will tell you some of like my tried and true must-dos. I have done them throughout every single season of working motherhood I'm in. I figured this out, throughout the different kind of trajectories of my career, but these 5 things are like the must do's that I've maintained and held on to no matter what job I had or employer I had or role I had or schedule I had. So these have definitely maybe adjusted slightly depending on, ages of my kids, amount of sleep I'm getting, if I was commuting or not. But the beauty of all of it is you can get creative in how you're checking these boxes. Now, I want to make sure I clarify something when it comes to the definition of daily for the sake of today's episode and for the sake of just kind of how I view this. So maybe daily means 7 days a week to you. Maybe it means Monday through Friday, or maybe it just means like 3 times a week. Personally, I think if you're doing something more than 1 time per week, to me, that's sort of like a daily thing. Because as we know, being a mom, and especially being a working mom, it can be quite unpredictable. And like Mondays can be really different than Thursdays, especially if you have like a hybrid schedule where some days you're commuting, some days you're not. Obviously, the days you're not commuting, you probably have more time for other things, but maybe the commute time actually acts as a portion of the day where you are doing some of these must-dos. So I just want to throw that out there. Like if you're listening to this and you're like, my days look totally different, or I could never commit to something 7 days a week, that's okay. Even if you're doing some of these things twice a week, I feel like it's still a win. So these are, again, my 5 daily must-dos if you are a working mom. And I would encourage you, if you are in like a safe space to do so, maybe jot some things down, take some notes, write it down, because if it resonates with you and you write it down, you are like 42% more likely to actually implement that into action. If you're not in a safe place to do that, maybe you're driving, maybe you're on a run, maybe you're with your kids doing something, that's okay. You can always come back and re-listen. But I would definitely encourage you to do just that, because even if you're listening with full intention today and you're paying attention to all the words I'm saying and all the tips I'm giving you, if you don't reiterate this information, meaning like if you don't take action on it or review it or listen again or, review what you jotted down or even just the act of jotting it down, you're going to forget 75% of what I tell you. Oh, I know, right? 75%. And I know your time is so valuable and also feels kind of limited. So I want you to really get the most bang for your buck out of today's episode. So I'm going to dive right in. You know me, I don't like to mess around. I like to just go right into the good juicy deets of each episode. So let's get started with number one. Number one is a system that I started years ago, and it was actually a portion of what I implemented into the Word to Your Mother journal planner that I created back in 2020. And that is to set 3 small goals a day for yourself, and ideally to do this the night before. All right. These can be related to anything and everything. I'm going to give you some examples. Make a doctor appointment, do a load of laundry, sign up to volunteer at the teacher appreciation luncheon, schedule a play date, order diapers, whatever it is. But what happens is when you set 3 small goals, and especially the night before, it allows you to make this really long to-do list that you probably have, whether it's on paper or just floating around in your head. It allows it to feel so much less daunting. It also helps us avoid decision fatigue. So we're not having to pull out this long list or think about all these tasks and things we need to do all the time and then think about what we're going to do in that moment. We've made that decision, again, ideally the night before. And I keep saying night before because I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm going to sleep and I'm exhausted, I can't relax because all I'm doing is thinking about all the things I have to do the next day. If I've written down 3 small goals that I know I'm going to take on, no problem the next day, like come hell or high water, I'm going to hold myself accountable for them, I can kind of rest a bit easier the night before. Another reason why this is great is because it helps you feel like you did what you set out to do that day, like you did enough. So I don't know about you, but like even on the days I'm super busy sometimes, I can get in my head and I can say, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And it makes you feel super defeated. So even though you were working all day long, doing all the things for all the people usually, and you feel like you really didn't even have a moment to like take a deep breath, you actually didn't prioritize the things that you wanted to do or the things that were really that important to you. And so they nag at you and they make you feel like you didn't do enough or you're not enough. And again, that can help you sort of not allow yourself to rest and relax at the end of the day. So if you're interested in utilizing the Word to Your Mother, A Mama's Guide to Journal Today and Slay Tomorrow resource, you can definitely grab that on my website, on Amazon. It's a great tool. Again, I developed it in 2020 when I probably needed it the most, but that you don't need it if you don't want to, bring on this tool. You can just simply write 3 things down the night before. So that is tip number 1, a daily must do. It is going to help you feel like you are just breezing through those tasks and feeling like you set out to do what you actually want to do and not feeling busy all day long, doing all the things and not what you actually need to get done. All right. Number 2 on daily must-haves or daily must-dos as a working mom is do something physical. Do something physical, like get your endorphins pumping. You want to do this to stay in good shape or get back into shape. You want to do this to be healthy for your kids, for your family, for yourself. You want to do this because when you feel good, you do good, right? When you feel good, you do good. You have more energy. You have more motivation. You're happier. You are like a better version of yourself. And all of that starts with how you're taking care of your body. Now, truth be told, in all the seasons of working motherhood I've been in, I haven't always been like an avid traditional like worker outer, right? Like I didn't belong to a gym for a long time. I actually don't belong to a gym right now, believe it or not, but yet I exercise every day. I, have had seasons pre-kids where I was like, going to spin classes or doing, kickboxing or whatever it was. It's different in this season, and it's been different in other seasons of working motherhood for me. So, sometimes it's a YouTube workout. Sometimes it's a walk, a vigorous walk, like a power walk around the neighborhood or a run. During COVID, I was in a running season. I was running all the time, and that really helped me stay and get back into really good shape after my fourth baby was born, but also just for my mental health during that time. I remember when I was commuting and, going to the gym after work or before work, it wasn't a possibility for me during that time. It didn't fit into the schedule that, I had during that season. And so I would either hit up the gym in our building. We were fortunate enough to have a gym in the office building where I worked with a colleague of mine. We would do that sometimes. Or I would just utilize my power walk, which was probably a good mile to the office from the train station and then another mile back. I would utilize that as my workout time. I would take the stairs instead of the elevator. These are all things you can do to do something physical, no matter what season you're in of working motherhood. Maybe it's during your lunch hour, instead of working through your lunch hour or doing a to-do list from your lunch hour, you take a walk outside, or you have one of those like running treadmill things under your desk, and you have a standing desk, and you do that while you're working. So there's so many options here, but definitely doing something physical for yourself on a consistent daily, 3 times a week, whatever you can commit to basis is going to really level up your thriving in this season versus just surviving in this season. All right. Number 3, when it comes to daily must-dos as a working mom, plan dinner ahead of time. Plan dinner ahead of time. I don't care if you plan to go through the drive-through tonight because you're running from work to soccer to dance to taekwondo. If you have a plan, you will be way less stressed, and you're not going to make decisions when you are hangry, which usually, I don't know about you, but when I make decisions when I'm hangry, they're not the best decisions. So we meal plan in our home. We meal plan for the week here. And what we do is we work around the activity schedule. So for example, yesterday, we just so happened to have a no after school activity day. It's rare, but it does happen. So I was able to spend some time in the kitchen, and I was able to make a bit more of like an elaborate dinner. Now, don't get it twisted. It wasn't anything crazy, but I could defrost chicken and prepare it and make some potatoes and some kale chips. And I could do that all within like a span of, 30 minutes or so. Didn't take that long, but it still took time and effort. And fortunately, I had that because we didn't have activities yesterday. On other evenings, when we need to eat dinner in this house at like 4:45 to get out the door on time for sports practice, we're likely doing something a lot quicker or something prepared in advance. But the key here is it's planned in advance. So you're going to feel a lot less stressed, a lot less like you're just flying by the seat of your pants if you simply think about dinner in advance. And if you can do this on a weekly basis, even better. All right. Number 4 is having to do with scheduling in quality time. Now, when I think about this, I'm thinking more about like quality time with your kids, quality time with your partner, quality time with the people that matter to you most. So this doesn't need to be anything extravagant, okay? Somebody told me once when I was really struggling with like the working mom guilt, quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. Maybe this is a daily thing, like maybe you read to your kid before bed, or you take a little walk up and down the block together. Maybe this is something that happens twice a week because of hectic schedules. So maybe it's not an every night, but maybe it's 2 evenings a week. Maybe it's even like just the commitment that you all have a meaningful, engaging conversation at dinner, or like you ask this one question every night at dinner and everybody goes around the table and answers it. I know that option is like not always easy or attainable depending on the ages of your kids. We're like just getting to the point in our house with our youngest being 5 that we can have like a real conversation with everyone at the table in between like the sit down, finish your plate, do that, So I understand. I really do get it. But maybe that's what it's a commitment to. But I know, again, a lot of working moms tend to feel guilt guilt they're not spending enough time with their kids, guilt they're not spending enough time with their partners. And I know I did. So the truth is, I'm going to tell you this. The truth is, now that I have this much more flexible schedule, I work about half the hours I used to when I was in the corporate world. I make my own hours. I don't necessarily think I do a better job at this, because it's not necessarily about the amount of time you have. It's about if you're using it with full intention. I used to work, again, double what I work now. I used to commute, which added even more time to my day, but I was so intentional about this quality time aspect that it's probably similar to what I'm doing right now when I have additional flexibility in time. So even if you're thinking to yourself like, oh, how do I really make this happen? Don't overcomplicate it. It can be super simple, and it can really help you feel like you're connecting at a level that you want to be connected at. Fun fact, I remember when I used to go to this like newborn mommy class after my middle son was born, somebody told us in that class that your kids actually only need 6 minutes for every hour to feel like you are paying enough attention to them. And that kind of like put things into perspective for me when I was feeling guilty or bad or, picking on myself for like not doing enough. I was like, okay, that's a fact, I guess, a scientific fact you're sharing with me. I don't think you made that up. And I can feel a little bit less kind of, guilt for that. Or I could feel, like less upset about, am I doing enough, and questioning myself, and I can give myself a little more grace and like understanding for this really, really challenging season I'm in. So if you are in a space where you're feeling any of that, we have a lot of episodes on working mom guilt. Be sure to check those out. Lots of good tips there, but scheduling in quality time and just being intentional with that can really help you feel like you're thriving again and not just surviving this working mom season. All right. Our last tip in today's episode is simply invest in you. Every single day, you should be doing something for you, for yourself. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of personal development, professional development, learning, growing in this way. So I tend to read a lot of nonfiction. I tend to listen to nonfiction books, podcasts, take online courses. I work with a coach. I've worked with coaches for, over a decade now. I think the best coaches have coaches, honestly. And all these things help me show up as the best version of myself every single day, which absolutely makes me feel, again, more like I'm thriving, less like I'm surviving the season of working motherhood I'm in. Now I know, especially if you're a working mom and you work hard for your money, I get it. You may feel like, is this worth it? Like I can just go get myself a latte right now and feel good. I can get a new pair of shoes and feel like I did something nice for myself. And you absolutely can. And if you want to do those things, girlfriend, go for it. But let me ask you, is that latte, are those sandals, are they going to change your life for the better in 6 months or in a month or even in a week from now? I don't know. Maybe the shoes will. I don't know. I love shoes. I get it. But if you're torn between investing $100 on a pair of shoes or having like an introductory coaching session or buying a course that can totally flip-flop the situation you're in of feeling overwhelmed or feeling exhausted or feeling completely defeated every day, I would go for the investment in myself and not my feet. Just saying. So listen, I want to make this decision easier than ever for you. I want this to be like an absolute no-brainer for you. So I have decided that for the next 2 weeks, we are holding a huge sale here at Mama Work It. Like we are deeply discounting our time management for working parents course, our time management deep dive, our time momagement 4-week program. And we've never done this one before, our Biz Momagement 12-week program, which if you are thinking about starting a business, this is the program you need to make it happen. You guys, this is not a drill. We are like temporarily dropping the prices of these programs and experiences by 65%. This is real. I'm not kidding. And you might be asking yourself, like, why the hell I'm doing this? So let me tell you. Number one, I believe in what I do. I stand by it. And even though, yes, I am in business, and yes, I do think the MSRP on these products, services is worth every dollar, every now and then I feel this like deep calling to hold a sale. And I think that's because I know me personally, I will often not buy things for myself unless they're on sale. I know, and that's probably something like I need to work through. But I know it's like a catalyst for me sometimes to make something happen. If I feel like I can get an even better deal on it, I'm like more motivated, more excited, more energized to take the leap and do it. And so I hope if that's the case for you, this is your sign to do it. Number two, I have highly ambitious goals to support thousands of women in this space. And if I can reach more people by holding these temporary semi-insane sales and bring myself closer to those goals, I'm going to do it. So I have seen firsthand the transformation these programs have had on people. Like in 4 weeks, I watched a mom go from feeling like a total hot mess, completely discouraged, no way out, unsure how to get a handle on anything, pretty much, to having solid routines, systems, even a health goal she was committed to achieving. She created this like work-life balance that she never, ever, ever thought was possible with 2 toddlers and a full-time job. I have seen women leave their 6-figure corporate roles and start dream businesses. I have seen people skeptically commit to documenting their time over 3 days. And then after we have our strategy session, leave with like 10 new ideas and a plan on how to implement them with time left over. I have even seen people take the 1-hour time management for working parents course and feel like they had a completely different outlook and strategy for tackling their time, their tasks. Investing in yourself is one of those things you will not regret. Shoes go out of style. You are here for much longer than those wedges. So make this a no-brainer decision. Grab one of these amazing offerings while the prices are hot. And by the way, you get lifetime access to them once you buy. So you don't have to do them right away if you feel like today's not the day to get started. We're releasing this episode April 16th, 2025. The sale is running through the end of this month, but then mama friends, it's over. Like while you still absolutely you can get any of these offerings, the price is going to jump back up. So I am dropping all the links in today's show notes for you. I would highly encourage you take a look at these options, see which one resonates most with you. The deals are sick. I'm pretty sure we've never done more than 50% off on any of these, if that. So again, maybe I'm crazy, but whatever, you benefit from it, at least now until April 30th. So get on that, invest in you. Number 5. All right, my friends, that is the end of today's episode. I hope you found it helpful. Which tip was your favorite? Let me know. Drop me an email, say hi, leave a review, any of those things. I just love seeing your feedback, your comments. Reach out on Instagram, whatever feels right to you. And I hope you take not 1, not 2, but maybe even all 5 of these tips and implement them. And I hope you take advantage of that incredible sale. So I will see you soon. In the meantime, keep on working it, mama. Bye.